My food stamps went from 4,400 in food stamps every month to $38. What am I supposed to get with $38 with 6 kids? How the hell am I supposed to support my kids on $38 in food stamps? Not to mention our disability checks on hold. Our Section 8, my rent isn't getting paid tomorrow. So I have to come up with $1,100. Okay? I am allergic to work.
It's been 6 days since my food stamps were taken. Almost $10,000 a month in welfare benefits that I no longer have. My caseworker just called me. On top of losing everything and possibly, well, very likely not getting any of it back, I now have to pay back over $22,000 in welfare benefits. So now they're going to be garnishing our disability and my child support that I receive for my kids.
Hey family, I'm back. I found out something else. I don't know if y'all heard or not, but Trump is getting rid of that Section 8 and EBT for these people that don't want to get out here and go to work. Your time is up, baby. Y'all, I know most people like us really not feeling Trump, but I'm kind of feeling him on what he's saying about this. Now, how many of y'all have family members, friends, people you know that's been living off Section 8 for 20 years? They rent $3. They don't go to work. Not that they can't go to work. They don't want to go to work. Now, let me say this on the sidebar. They do have some people that need Section 8. Some people that, medically, they can't go to work. Or, they just can't physically. I get it. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to these ones that your mama been on Section 8 all her life and she ripping and running and doing this and doing that. And then you seen she was on Section 8, paid $3 rent. So now you as a young girl, because you done got pregnant and you got a baby, you go run out there and get on Section 8 and you ain't working and you having child after child after child and y'all all on Section 8 getting food stamps, $1,000 a month. And no, that's all about to stop. That's who I'm talking to. Okay? Trump said that's enough. So for us people that goes to work, that's working, he said you got to have at least 30 hours, okay? 30 hours a week to qualify for the program, all right? So most of us that work on a regular basis, 30 hours ain't nothing to us. This is what we do. So guess what? We gonna be the ones walking around in the grocery store with the big baskets because we deserve it. All these years, they've been letting people with no job. They walking around with 2-3 baskets full of groceries, and us hardworking people, we got a little handheld basket with 2-3 items in there because that's all we have left out of our check. And they sitting around getting fat food, eating lobsters and shrimp and crabs and all this other good food, and we can't even eat that. And we the ones going to work. So I'm glad Trump didn't flip the switch, baby. So all y'all that's living it up right now, that's able-bodied to go to work, and you're choosing not to go to work, you better get ready. Because, baby, y'all finna get them notices. And them notices gonna come soon. And like he said, real quick. And those of us that go to work, we ought to be able to go and apply for some food stamps and see what it feel like. To be able to go in the line and slide a card with pride. Because it's not for the ones that don't have nothing. It's for the ones that's working to have something. It's our turn now, y'all. So I'm telling y'all right now, if you able to go to work, you better get out there and start filling out them applications. If you want to have a place to live. It's time to get up and stop being lazy. Because, baby, this is not the American way no more. Trump said no. And y'all can be mad all you want to. I told you, things are changing.
Hey guys, yes, it's true, that the White House is proposing to eliminate the Section 8 voucher program. And what they want to do is basically put a time limit, which is a 2-year time limit on all able-bodied citizens. So if you're able-bodied, meaning that you're not a veteran, you're not disabled, you're not elderly. If you're able-bodied and can work, and you're going to have a 2-year time. That's what they're proposing, a 2-year time limit, and that's no more Section 8. So with that being said, you're probably saying, okay, Alicia, what am I going to do? I'm going to tell you what I've been stating for the last few months. You go back and look at some of my videos. I've been talking about the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. If you do not have a job, if you do not have a trade, if you do not have anything, sign up for that program. Call your Social Section 8 office and talk to your Family Self-Sufficiency. Get in that program. Get you some kind of certificate, whatever you like to do, whatever your passion is, turn your passion into your purpose, come up with some funds, that's because eventually if they do eliminate the Section 8 program or they give you a 2-year, you need to have a plan. You need to, if you don't have an education, that's why the Family Self-Sufficient will pay for you. If you don't have a job, but you say, Alicia, I already have, I'm a phlebotomist. I just can't find a job. The Family Self-Sufficiency will help you look for a job. And also, they help you with the home ownership. The ultimate goal is home ownership. So with that being said, they are cutting these programs. These are the proposed. What they're going to do, they're proposing to cut the Section 8 voucher program and give block grants to the state. And the state's going to get less money. So whatever they do with the money as far as in with housing, but they're trying to eliminate the Section 8 program and give a time limit. I knew there was going to be a time limit, but 2 years? No, I'm thinking 5 years. But no, they want to do 2 years. And they're giving time limits. I don't know if you all know yet. They're giving time limits on SNAP benefits. They already started here in Texas. If you're working or not working after a certain amount of time, you cannot get SNAP benefits anymore. So with that being said, there's a lot of cuts and a lot of elimination. Warning come before destruction. I've been saying it for months. That's why I'm stating, please get in these programs, get the education, come up with a plan B. Faith without works is dead. So you need to start working on your plan B, start working on your education, whatever, because if you ever in a situation, you want to be able to provide for you and your children. So with that being said, contact your local worker, your Section 8 worker, for the Family Self-Sufficiency Program so that you can, get enrolled in it. If you're in Houston, the classes are every other Wednesday. The orientation, give me a call, a call or inbox or whatever, or email me so that I can hurry up and get you, give you the information so you can get signed up. So with that being said, y'all guys, be blessed, but be prepared and be ready. It's a lot going on right now in this economy. Everything's a lot going on. So just be prepared.
Now, Mama C said this is day 4 without her being with food stamps. Day 4 without her being able to feed her children. She said the people that took all her benefits, her Section 8, her public assistance, like I said, food stamps, utilities. They done took every benefit that she was getting from the government away from her, everything. And guess who fault she said it is? She said y'all fault. Y'all fault on TikTok for reporting to the government how much money she made. She was getting over $10,000 worth of benefits a month, and y'all done messed it up. On top of that, she goes on to say that she has 200 and something thousand, I forgot, a lot of followers, and she said she expected her followers, us, to take care of her now because it's our fault that her public assistance and every other benefit she gets from the government have been taken away. And not only that, they want her to pay the money back that she owed because of her income that she makes off of TikTok. Y'all ever heard of something like that? I want to tell you this, Mama C. I ain't never had no food stamp. And I talk about this all the time. Just went to the grocery store this morning on a budget. Me folk, on a budget. And I saw a few things that I wanted this morning. Per se, ice cream sandwiches. But the ice cream sandwiches I like were like $6. I said, I really need this. I'm like, nah, I got to put this back. Then I saw a few other items. I said, do I really need it? Now I had to put these back. What I'm saying is when you ain't got food stamps, you have to figure it out. So for you, Mama C, I don't feel sorry for you because getting $10,000 a month in government assistance, you way ahead of the game. So I don't know why you expect us on TikTok to take care of you. My thing is, what are you going to give us? Because if it's our fault, you in the situation you in right now, with all that money you be getting every month, you ought to have a stash somewhere. You ought to be able to help somebody else out. Help somebody else out. And furthermore, what you need to do is just start talking about how You plan to get out of this on your own, because guess what? Ain't nobody in here getting you a damn.
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for always come to watch our video. I really appreciate your support. You guys, thank you so much. Now, today we're talking about the two most important things. This is none other than the Section 8, yes, and food snap. Okay, these are the things that were helping most of Americans. I will also talk about the Medicaid, okay? These are crucial topics right now because all these benefits are no longer implemented or are no longer, benefits the citizens of the United States, are no longer benefits the people, okay? It has been said that these benefits are going to be cut. Okay, people are gonna lose these benefits. It was this bill that has made a significant change. Both Medicaid and SNAP, these changes are largely driven by fiscal agenda to reduce the federal spending and shift cost to states. It means they remove this, or they want to remove this just to reduce the federal spending. Okay, and then the things that have to be cut is the Medicaid. We've seen that in the beautiful bill. Okay, it's a new rule that imposed, community engagement requirements on able-bodied adults without dependents between the age of 19 and 64 to maintain the coverage. These individuals must prove that they are working in school or volunteering a certain number of hours each month, 8 hours. They are exemption, but they can be complex to navigate. So there might be work requirements to Medicaid. It means 8 hours of work. For you to get the Medicaid right now, you need, this 8 hours. People used to get it for free. People used to, people are not used to these changes, okay? Because right now it's 19 of age to 64 to get the Medicaid, okay? Now you must prove the working. But now let's talk about this. Most of the people that were receiving this, they were not working. And some didn't want even to go to work. Yes, they don't want to go to work. Other people are just working very hard for their, life, for the way of being, or for them to live. But these people, they don't want to work. They want to benefit from all this. The SNAP, similar. The requirements have been expanded to largely aged range of SNAP recipients, now including able-bodied adults aged 64. Parents of children over a certain age are also now subject to these requirements. Previously, many of these individuals were exempt. The bill also makes it harder for states to waive these requirements in areas with high unemployment. Getting a SNAP also, there might be requirements. Of course. So for the first time in the program's history, states may be required to pay for a portion of the actual SNAP benefits. Previously, states only paid for a share of administrative cost. Under the new rules, if a state's payment error rate is above a certain threshold, there will be requirements to contribute a percentage of the benefit cost. The administrative cost sharing for states is also set to increase significantly. That's the shifting cost, to the SNAP. So now these things, before the MAGA voted against their own interest, these things were benefiting many people. These things were, helping a lot of people. A lot of people were, benefiting from it. We are getting back to their life. We are, getting support from it. But right now, it's hard. And the MAGA is furious because they are no longer getting all those benefits. It has been cutted. They are no longer able to benefit from that because of their choices, because voting against your own interest. You did vote against your own interest. So there might be a lot of impact and a lot of, impact on the individuals and the communities, because losing even those benefits, it's an impact on the community. It's an impact on the people. Because the Non-Partisan Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, and the research groups estimate that millions of people will lose their Medicaid and SNAP benefits. This could be due to a failure to meet their new work requirements because they struggle with the increased administrative burden and paperwork, even they are technically exempt or working. Because of the requirements, man, the MAGA are furious. They will no longer receive these things. Yes, you must have our work requirements. So it means you not just get it the way you used to get. That is now the meaning of voting against your own interest. Man. That's the meaning of hating yourself. That's the meaning of causing problems to you, man. Yes, increase of food insecurity, lack of health care. Medicaid is helping a lot because the loss of these benefits is expected to increase food insecurity and make it harder for millions to access health care. We've seen some hospitals closing down in the village. This could lead to worse health outcomes, particularly for vulnerable population like children, the elderly, and people with disabilities. They are not going to get those benefits. Another impact is the economic consequences because the cuts are not only expected to harm individuals but also have a ripple effect on the economy of the country. Cuts to Medicaid and SNAP could lead to a loss of jobs, particularly in the healthcare and food-related sectors, and reduced gross domestic product. Yeah. So it remains all these benefits people were getting, like they were taking it for granted. They were not taking it serious. They're not taking it as things that are going to help them. So that's why MAGA, their rage. SNAP cuts hit them, man. And people have been telling them that you guys better be careful because you might lose all your benefits. You might lose this and that. You might lose your land, your business, your farm. But people never listened. They just close their eyes. They just close their ears. They're like this. They don't want to listen. But right now, things are happening. Section 8 was helping a lot of people. But right now, there is requirements. You must fulfill these requirements to be able to have these benefits. That's how things are. Which make MAGA furious. Which make MAGA, losing it because, man, it's going to affect them. Now, it comes to that point of making America great. The American dream perspective. Now, the critics of new legislation argue that by gutting the social safety nets, the government is making it harder for working families to survive, let alone get ahead. The rising cost of healthcare and food combined with the stripping of those programs can make the American dream feel farther out of the reach for many. Of course. Because you cannot have that dream when you don't have food. You don't have Medicaid. You're sick, but you're not able to go to the hospital. Is that a dream? Now I should ask the MAGA, man, are you making it great? Tell me, are you making it great? Or it is making you cry? It's making you, losing it. So, man, you can ask this question. Who really received these benefits? Social programs like SNAP and Medicaid serve people across the political spectrum and all parts of the country. Many of the states and countries, many of the states and counties with the highest percentage of SNAP recipients are rural, conservative areas that voted heavily for the Republican. It means those rural people, they were the one receiving most of the benefits, but also they are the majority that put the guy in the office, man. And right now, they are facing it. Man, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy and very hard to really understand because, man, these people, they should have considered their actions. Yeah. Tell me in the comment section what do you think about this? Because right now, rural people are most affected people of losing all this. We've seen hospital closing. We've seen many, many things happened because of this. But then we come to these people who voted against your own interest, who didn't even care about that. They were just like, you know, we both. Yeah? All right, folks, tell me, what do you think about this topic? What do you think about what's happening on the Section 8 SNAP and Medicaid and many, many benefits that people are losing because of voting against their own interest? Thank you so much. I am Fikazo.